Hello there, Ringside crew.
Hey dudes at Ringside crew, this is Davian.
Hey, it's Jenny Santana here.
This is Alfie.
This is the Savage Juggernaut, Tamaku.
Inside Ring!
This is Thomas D. Bruff.
This is Billy Starks.
Mr. Chad Epic.
Megan Mason.
Hey everybody, Scotland's own Brody Adler.
The headliner in charge, Marco Mania.
This is your girl Charisma.
Papa Dink, Brendan Dicker.
This is According to Woods.
Savannah Summers.
I'm Shorty.
Tasman inside.
You are watching
The internationally known
Dudes at Ringside podcast, hosted by Metal Geek and Joe the Panther Jr.
Hello there, wrestling fans! Welcome to another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I'm your host, Joe the Panther III. And now from the top of Metal Mountain, all the way down to all 50 states in the globe is Happy Hill himself, Metal Geek.
What's going on, Ringside crew? What's going on, internationally known? What's going on, everybody? What's going on, Joe? How's it going today?
Joe and Joe.
And Joe.
Hey,
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Drew.
And Drew.
Drew
McIntyre here. And Drew. Okay. I'll introduce the guests because you did it last episode. Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome to the Renegade Wrestling's own Jade Black.
Hello.
Hello, how's it going?
I'm great.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome, Jade. So, if our fans aren't familiar with you, introduce yourself.
So I'm Jade Black, and I basically go by the name of the Passionate Gem, just because I'm very, very classy and just passionate all around. Like, I love wrestling. So when I'm in that ring, I handle everything the right way, in my words. Very just passion is the foundation of Jade Black, basically.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Go
ahead.
No, go ahead. I'll continue.
No, I messed up, Geek. Sorry.
So I was just going to ask you, what's it like working with Aisha Raymond?
Oh, Aisha, amazing. Like, stepping into Renegade Dojo for the first time, it was very intimidating, but Aisha just welcomed everyone, like, so good. She's so inspiring, like, empowering, and she's just great. Like, she's taught me so much.
What are some of the things that she taught you that you would take to this day?
It was like, even like the wrestling side, she's taught me so much, but it's how you handle yourself, like, outside of the ring, professionally, etiquette, like, so much of how to not only be a wrestler inside the ring, but outside the ring as well. Like, she carries herself so well.
Awesome. I was gonna ask you who trained you, but Geek already did that. But like, what is it like? Like, what was it like? You said it was like your first time. Was like, what was your mind like when you first, like, your first day at practice, first training? What were you like? Like, what was your energy like that day?
I was very, like, nervous but excited because I grew up loving wrestling. I'd always wanted to do it, so I was like, I'm gonna give it 100% when I go in. But obviously, going into a new environment, not knowing anyone or having met anyone before, so I walked in and there was some people in the ring training already. So I was very, like, shy and, like, reserved, but Aisha brought everyone together, and, like, you train as a team, and, like, everyone is so friendly and welcoming. So that kind of wiped away some of the nerves, and I just kept going and integrated myself, basically.
Awesome.
Do they do intergender wrestling in Renegade Wrestling, or?
Yeah, we're very, like, all-inclusive. Like, we have, obviously, women, men, and non-binary. So everyone is involved. We wrestle each other, just whatever, really.
That's awesome. That's good to know, because, like, there's a lot of promotions out there that are touchy on the, like, intergender wrestling. Am I right, Geek? Like, we get a lot of people, like Jade, that we say intergender wrestling with, and they always do that cringe face, like they just smelled a poopy diaper. They're like, and they have the cringiest, most, like, oh, well, you know, kind of like reaction, right, Geek?
Yeah.
It's always like, I know intergender wrestling is kind of a tough subject these days, but to me, geek, intergender wrestling is part of the scene. Like, they may not think it is, but it is. It really is a change of the wrestling world from men versus men and women versus women. It's men versus women, but you have to present it the right way. Am I right, Jade?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
exactly, it's like if you're watching, let's say you're watching a Marvel movie, right? For example, and you have Thanos versus Scarlet Witch, for example, right? That's like kind of like an intergender match because it's people. This is something that people want. You know what I mean? Something people want to pay to see, and it's like that's something that's believable because they're both superheroes. So there you go.
Like, you wouldn't want to have Thanos for Spider-Man. That'd be sad. He would try really hard, but like, I don't think it would end well. Like, he's a little guy. No, lady, no. So is there any wrestler that you've been watching either from the States or from Scotland or England, anywhere that like you've been wanting to wrestle?
Oh, there's so many people like especially in the Scotland independent scene. Molly Spartan is up there with one of them. Like, she is just amazing, like so empowering. I really love like empowering women who are just great. Like, there's so many people. There's obviously like dream matches in the WWE that one day I'd hope to have. Like, Becky Lynch was huge for me, like inspiration wise. But there's so many. Like, I'd just be glad to get in the ring with anyone. Really, men, women, or non-binary.
Yeah. Like, if you want to talk about Renegade to like our fans that are not from, they probably have never heard of it. Like, you could talk about more about the roster and about like the people and stuff like that.
Renegade is obviously, it's all inclusive. Like, everyone who walks in the doors and competes at our shows and trains with us all believe the same, that everyone is welcome, that no one should be discriminated against, basically. So we have men, women, non-binary, anyone is welcome. So like, we all train together and we have our Renegade shows, and we've got one coming up July 23rd, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
The first ever Renegade Wrestling Cup tournament. So there's going to be so many people coming in for that. Renegade is just a great place to be, very welcoming, which I've experienced. I've only been doing this for 5 months.
Wow.
Yeah. And Aisha has been so monumental in helping me get to like where I am now.
Amazing.
So how many matches have you done within 5 months?
So at my first show, I was only a month in and I valeted, but I got to work in a spot against Aisha.
Wow.
Which was amazing. And then my second show, I was in a six tag match. Yeah, elimination. Yeah, against the Struthers, which was my first ever match, and it was great.
Oh, it's 6-man elimination match. I get it. Right. That's cool. You know.
And hopefully, I'll be making my singles debut at the upcoming tournament.
That, fingers crossed for you, right there. You deserve it.
You deserve it. I was watching the YouTube channel like a few days ago. I guess you had a spot that you got held hostage by a team. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so I'm part of the House of Lovelust, along with Lyndon Lovelust and Catsabella, and I was kidnapped at my first show when I was valeting for Catsabella by the Struthers. It was Maven, Raven, and Iona Sky. They basically kidnapped me, tortured me, and then that led into the 6-man elimination at the last show, where they did bring in weapons and cheat, but hopefully we'll get a retribution one day.
Yeah. So where are some places you would love to travel to that you have not traveled to yet?
Oh, there's so many. I love to go to Japan.
Mm-hmm.
I love Japanese wrestling. Aisha's over there now doing amazing. Obviously America. Canada would be another one. There's just so anywhere I can get to, I'd love to just wrestle and experience like the different cultures and techniques of wrestling, because there's so many different ones.
Definitely. This, like, Japan, it's like just top notch. Every wrestler that we've talked to said that's on their bucket list right there. Japan's number one. Even just to go to Japan, because there's just so much to do over there. There's so much different culture stuff. Like, there's like so much anime and different like gaming stuff over there. So Japan is just ahead of America on cultural stuff.
Like, it's so funny to think that like everybody thinks that coming to America, coming to America is important for like an independent wrestler's career, but sometimes I don't get it. But Geek says it differently. Like, people think it's coming to America is the most important part of the career. It is, but I think some wrestlers should start off in Japan to see how they would fit in with the wrestling community. You know what I mean? But
because the only way to get better is to actually work in Japan.
Yeah, the Japanese training is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
they're all amazing.
They're all
Scary
amazing.
but amazing.
Yeah, everyone in Stardom and Joshi Pro, everybody over there.
Trying to think. So, what kind of food do you like, Jade?
Oh, I'm a terrible eater, but anything carbs wise, like chips, pasta, absolutely love all that. And vegan sausages, weirdly enough, those are some of my favorites. And then guilty pleasures is like chocolate cookies, but
oh yeah,
not always.
Geek likes pasta, so you're safe. Like for lunch, I had 2 slices of pizza, so I was set. I was set for the afternoon.
So who's your favorite opponent to work with so far?
Oh, that's a good one. I definitely say the Struthers, as intimidating as they are, they're so tough, especially Maven. I'd love to just get on one with her because she's absolutely amazing. She's so strong, but like I have the agility, and I think we could really like put on a great match. And then obviously I'd love to be one with Aisha when she comes back, but that's on the bucket list for now. Just a one match with her, even though I've had a little bit of experience as a valet.
Yeah,
getting in some spots.
Yeah, to have a match with Aisha in five years from now, to have one currently, it'd be like, I'm ready now, like in 5 years, because you could definitely see it was like, wow, you watch the tapes back and be like, I'm so much better now than I was 5 years ago.
Yeah,
because to see that improvement is just awesome, you know.
So
now, what gets you ready for like a match exactly? Like,
so I'm very like calm throughout the day, kind of just like keeping myself in like a zone almost, and like right before I go out, it's like just like a switch when you go out, and you're just like you're in the zone and you get into it. But I'm very calm. I know a lot of people get like energized in that, but I'm very calm until the moment I go out there, and like when there's the crowd is there and the fans and they bring you up, and then your opponent's across from you, it just gets you into that zone that you need to be in when you're in the ring.
So like, what kind of workouts do you do like daily? Keep yourself in like wrestling shape.
So obviously we have our Monday, Friday sessions at the dojo, which is very like wrestling technique, cardio, squats and stuff. But then on my own, I work out maybe like 3-4 times a week, like muscle, cardio, and I do yoga as well, just to keep like, because wrestling takes a toll on the body. I've only been doing it for 5 months and I can feel it, so that keeps me like grounded almost when things are so hectic. But it's definitely a physically as well as mentally challenging sport to do, so everyone kind of finds their way of dealing with that workout wise.
Wow.
Can you describe your fighting style?
Fighting style, I'd say I'm very agile. I move about a lot. I use my momentum more than my strength because I'm quite small, and especially I'm up against a lot of bigger, stronger opponents. So my only chance is agility and working them down, and some submissions, and just basically overall agility is my wrestling style.
Yeah. So you do submit a lot of submissions. It's like is it like a mixed martial arts, or is it more like
It's I use right now, it's the drop toe hold submission.
Mhm.
So just again taking the opponent down quickly and into a drop toe hold. But it's a lot of things, and I'll learn as I go. But
So you would say like you're more like the Daniel Bryan of
Mhm.
the wrestling world.
Yeah.
Like the
Small,
LaBelle
but
Lock.
like, momentum wise and some submissions to keep them grounded so
Yeah.
they can't throw me about.
Or
Okay.
here we go. If you know old, yeah, you probably would know it because I saw on your Instagram page. I was researching, getting research on the on Jade Black. You are like me. You like old school wrestling. I saw you researching old school WWF female wrestling.
Yeah.
So, like here we go. Old school. You'd be like Dean Malenko.
Yeah. I do a lot of watching Alundra Blaze and Bill Nakano. Their matches are always one of my favourites from back then to watch, even though I wasn't alive. But I love going back and watching everything from then.
Yeah. So who would you say your toughest opponent is?
Toughest.
Like who hits like hard?
Oh, well, when Aisha's here, definitely Aisha. But right now, I definitely say Maven. Maven just has intensity behind her, and you'll see a lot more of her coming up. But the Struthers are so intimidating. They're so powerful, and they're really a proper tag team. They're so cohesive, and it's scary to go up against. And they hit hard, and they'll make you work for it. And they've proven why they're so good recently.
Awesome. I think what else? So where do you see where do you see yourself in the wrestling world in 5 to 10 years?
5 and 10 years. I definitely want to stick at it. I want to travel around the Scottish independent scene first, kind of build up a reputation, and I definitely want to travel. And eventually, I really want to do it full time. Obviously, that's like way in the future. But basically, just travel as much as I can, different promotions, different people, like meet different people like who have been in the business for a long time, people who are coming up the same as me, and just like be a sponge basically, like listen, take everything in, and just go as far as I can basically, and hopefully make a name for myself in the next few years.
Okay.
Do you have any upcoming shows from Renegade coming up?
Yeah, we've got the Renegade Wrestling Cup tournament July 23rd, just at Renegade again down in Glasgow. So there's the matches will be announced for that soon. But I'm really looking forward to it because I've yet to get a proper win.
Yeah.
Last show I won by disqualification, but still want to get that free count and really solidify a win for me.
So is Renegade, is it like Japanese style, like where it's like you have a young lion, and the young lion is trained to lose every match until they go on excursion? Is that like trained like that?
I've heard of that, but we don't do that at Renegade. Like we just
No.
come in and we obviously Aisha has her different styles that she's been trained in. She teaches us. We have other experienced people come in and teach us their styles. But I know the Joshi way of not telling them and all that. But we just kind of like try and get as much knowledge across as possible when we first
Yeah,
come
so
in.
that's what I mean. It's kind of like a learning experience. You learning to like you lose to like the current guys to make them look good, and then in the future you get what's the word? You go on excursion, and then you come back and you're part of like that main like roster.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like kind of
Yes.
like in Japan, kind of that's what they do.
Yeah, so like everyone, like the trainees are all part, like we're all a part of this roster and we're all there for every show. And we have people who come and go and like offer their experience and really help build us up as well.
I find that really good that like you guys have people coming in and helping people get like younger wrestlers like yourself get like experience, and that's really cool that Aisha and people like that, they really train you guys to be like what she does and the way she is in the wrestling business. Because I know some promotions that do the training, they're just like, all right, okay, we may give you a shot on a show. You know what I mean? Like you can be sitting backstage in your gear the whole time, just sitting there like, you gonna call me? You come back to the next show, you're sitting backstage the whole time. Like, and we know you're gonna get called because you're a very good wrestler and you're good on the mic. So like, They're gonna call you. Don't worry. You're good. You're golden, girl. You got it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, we want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast. By the way, you've been awesome. So
Thank you for having me. It's been great.
Yeah. Do you have any social medias?
It's just I think on Twitter. I'll check. I've got it here. On Instagram, it is jade.black.x, which is very simple, and then on Twitter it is, let's see, and then just Jade Black X. But if you follow the Renegade Wrestling Dojo accounts, you'll find me and the other trainees really easily.
Yeah. Make sure everybody follows Jade Black on
Follow
social
Jade
media.
Black.
Follow Renegade Wrestling and follow everybody. It's just so follow everybody.
So everybody gets a follow.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Not back. She's been on the podcast. She hasn't been on this first one. She's coming on the podcast, geek.
Coming on the podcast. So
okay.
Thank you so much.
You want to do the outro, geek, or
yeah. Good.
I'm Joe Panther the Third.
I'm the Metal Geek.
Oh, and I'm Jade Black.
And we will catch you in the next one.